Hey everyone, Nikolai here again at TradetechFX in beautiful Miami, Florida. I'm here with Dmitri Galinov, founder and the CEO of 24Exchange. Is it 24Exchange or just 24X?
Both. Both. And thank you for having me.
Yes, and thank you for organizing some of the events surrounding the conference as well.
Great. We had a lot of fun.
So you've had time, obviously, today to meet with some of the industry leaders, some of the people here, your friends, colleagues, and things like that. What are your impressions so far of the event and sort of where we are in the industry today?
Absolutely. What's interesting is that, well, first of all, the impression is that there's much more people than I thought would come. And, because of COVID and everything, but we're very, very happy that a lot of people were able to attend. So, we on a scale of like 600 people. And also it's good to see, old friends, and they might change firms, but all the people that in FX, they're there. Some people went to crypto, but it's still exciting to see everybody around.
Yeah, absolutely. So, 24Exchange has been sort of in the spotlight for a number of years now, pretty much starting in 2017 when you launched a basically central counterparty model for things like swaps and like that for FX. Can you explain a little bit why, like what was the reason, and kind of how is this solution that you provide sort of transforming our industry in terms of the sell side, buy side?
Sure, absolutely. So we started in 2018, with the central counterparty model for FX. Standard Chartered Bank, which is our partner and a strategic investor. We're first strategic investor in the company. They serve as that central counterparty. The reason we did this is that we looked at our client base and onboarding process of our clients. And our clients are large banks and institutions. And we found out that the longest kind of period of onboarding a client is legal agreement, KYC, and like legal and compliance. That what takes the longest.
Sure.
And so what happens is, without central counterparty model, if you're in exchange, you have to legally paper every client versus every client. So imagine if you have 20 on one side, 20 on the other side, you have to set up 400 paperwork together for these people to interact, which takes extremely long time, legal, all of that. So you don't need to do that. So papers with the central counterparty, and when the trading going on, everybody just faces that counterparty, and that's it. So it really, in terms of onboarding, it speeds up the process tremendously. Another side benefit of central counterparty is it becomes anonymous. So, which is obviously, if somebody is buying, a lot of FX, somebody is selling, it is a valuable feature that's kind of automatically comes with the product. But the big thing was the fact that we wanted to onboard clients much quicker.
Great. And I know that one of your missions as a company as well has been to sort of basically make trading 24/7, available 365, and really in all global markets or all global products. How do you plan to fully accomplish that mission? And what do you think it offers, this kind of solution, what do you think it offers broadly to the entire marketplace, also to the end sort of retail customer as well?
Absolutely. I mean, we're very excited about the asset aspect that I think what you brought up. If you look historically, the exchanges now, let's say, even if they offer multiple asset classes, they offer it a separate kind of systems or unit, like, for example, CBOE hotspot, right? That's a separate system from the CBOE or BATS, and what we're creating, which is one system. So it's one GUI, one API. So you get that API, you get everything.
Right.
And I because look, as we roll out crypto, we'll talk later about stocks. But what makes it exciting, because you can now express Microsoft and yen, or Microsoft and crypto and yen, and this is all one system where we're able to bring wholesale rates into one system and easily integrate. Another thing, what's interesting, if you look at all the financial firms, like big banks, typically divided into two departments. One is FICC, F-I-C-C, which is fixed income, commodities, and the other one is equities. But if you look at it, it's all the same. It's all electronic. It's a fixed protocol. It's computer. So people that managing all these processes, they all doing the same jobs for two different departments. Right. Now, what happens with our system? You have one system. I think what is going to happen is that those two departments are going to be combined, and our participants will realize massive amount of cost savings by not having run two separate systems. Another benefit is that it is difficult with the crypto. It's really difficult to find electronic trading fintech professionals now. Yeah. There's a shortage, and so I think what's good about it, by combining that, the banks will solve the labor shortage problem, as well as when we switch to 24/7, you need longer coverage, so you need people to supervise it. So these people will have a job and revenue producing job to supervise the process 24/7, and finally on the revenue side, obviously if you trade 24/7 longer, you make more money, and so I think those are kinds of things that behind what I thought about. Ultimately, I know it's going to end up there, the world, and so we have an ability to create a new exchange from scratch, a new global exchange, and so I said, look, let's just do it the right way, just do it how the future is going to be.
You saw it and said, well, if it's going to happen, why don't we just make it happen sooner, right?
Exactly, and we opportunity to start from scratch. Somebody like New York Stock Exchange or Euronext, they've been there for 100 years. They have all these different systems. It's much more difficult for them to do it. And we're lucky enough that we are a startup and we're doing it from scratch. So let's just do it, right the first way.
Yeah, amazing stuff. Let's talk a little bit about equities, which you did mention. Yes. I believe, if I remember correctly, you guys have filed an application with the SEC to become an exchange operator in the U.S. Again, 24/7 equities trading, and basically fractional equities trading. So an investor or a trader can essentially buy, I don't know, a fifth or half of a share of Apple or Amazon or any other stock, right? Mm-hmm. How is that process going in terms of feedback from the regulator? Because we all deal with regulations and regulator and things like that. And if approved, how will you be offering that service, and to which specific companies or partners?
Absolutely. And thank you for the question. You have a very, very exciting 24-hour of U.S. stocks. And this is something, look, right now, just by the way of background, New York Stock Exchange and NASDAQ, they typically work, and other exchanges, from 9:30 till 4. There is a little bit pre-market, after-market, but not much. And then that's it. Then you have to wait till the next day to trade. So what we do is go for it 24/7, and this is something, we went to the SEC. And so the process was, we took a little bit different approach from previous exchanges. So the previous exchanges, what they did, they filed the final form, and then they solicited the SEC, and then they took time to analyze it and so forth. We took a little bit different approach. So what we did, we filed a draft form with the SEC in the draft, and then we had many calls with the SEC to get the feedback on our draft. And I think that was a very good approach, because this is something so innovative that we're doing that nobody is doing. It's a new area for the SEC. There are a lot of requirements on the SEC. So, for example, if we would need to have SEC to be staffed over the weekend or on January 1st. Yes, so those things, and so what happened is, after receiving all this feedback, on February 2nd of this year, we submitted the final form. And so now what happens? Now the SEC will post the form, hopefully, and then they'll solicit feedback from the industry, and then they'll make the final decision. But the good thing is that we already had lot of discussions with the SEC about it up front versus other exchanges. They do it a little bit differently on the back.
I understand.
So we're very excited about it, and I think it's going to be massive product, and it's going to help foreign exchange business and crypto business, because as foreign investors, if you're outside the United States, start trading more stocks, they need foreign exchange. Or crypto investors want to participate in stocks, they need crypto and funding. And in terms of number of stocks, it's a pretty wide variety of stocks. So it's what we call UTP, which is unlisted trading privileges. So it's like 7,000 stocks that we're going to trade, pretty much every stock, and ETF. And so very interesting, like Bitcoin ETF, like Grayscale, and other Bitcoin. So right now you cannot, even though Bitcoin trades over the weekend, because the ETF trades on the exchange, you cannot trade it over the weekend. Yeah, exactly. So it's not only stocks, but also ETFs, like cryptocurrency ETFs and other ETFs.
Great. And expanding a little bit further on the regulatory front, in terms of Bermuda, I understand that you just, I think, got approved for a second license, right, in Bermuda?
Yes.
And all of this relates to crypto. Obviously, you are championing crypto in a very big way. You did, I think, the first physical crypto trade last year.
Yes.
Right. And also, there's talk that crypto NDF may be in the future.
We actually did the first NDF trade live, and yes, and this is something, by the way, this is new.
Yes.
And we will, obviously publish a press release and who we did, but you guys the first ones. But we did it last week, and we actually did it with 3 different counterparties. So there's a number of counterparties that is involved, and what's the most exciting thing is those counterparty are regular financial, not new crypto firms, is bank or a pre-existing well-known financial institution, and that's super exciting, because the NDF is the bridge for these financial institutions to access the spot physical market to get additional liquidity.
It's basically a game changer, because it's a complete game changer.
Yes, because right now they can't access that market, and they will be able to. What's exciting about Bermuda is it's very important. So when we created the company in 2018, and the crypto started going, we looked at various jurisdictions, and our clients are very big banks, and so they have to work in a regulated environment. So big banks and hedge funds, they have to trade on regulated exchanges. They can't trade an exchange that's being hacked or there are problems. So they need to participate in an exchange which was vetted by a solid regulator that has a supervision. And Bermuda became an awesome jurisdiction for that, because they did pass a law. They created a digital asset law. They passed it through the parliament, and their Bermuda monetary regulator enforces the law, giving the licenses, inspecting the firms, and it's very solid platform. Now on the U.S. side, there is no law.
I know. We're still we're still in a very big limbo.
That's why we ended up in Bermuda. That actually they had the legal infrastructure, and so
it fits your needs.
And Bermuda is a very good jurisdiction, so everybody is fine with Bermuda. It's part of UK, so very happy. Now in terms of the licenses, the first license that we got, and we did the trade, we did the bilateral trade. Again, going back to foreign exchange, right? Like our foreign exchange offering. We had the same problem in crypto, right? So we got exchange license, and we had actually, I think 80 clients, 80 times 80 matrix, and we're like, oh my God, it's going to take forever, right? And so what we did, then we started looking, is there a central clear, like standard charter equivalent of spot? We want you to serve this function, and then we didn't find anybody. And then we said, okay, well, we got to create a central clearer. But central clearer is a separate function for an exchange because the central clearer takes risk. So it's a counterparty to a trade. It's when it trades, it has responsibility to a trade. Unlike exchange, it's just matching, buyers and seller. So that's why we had to go for a second license to Bermuda Monetary Authority, explain to them what we're doing, what everything what we have in store, and after a couple of back and forths, we got the license. But look, what's great about Bermuda, they've been doing it from 2018. They have very large firms there, like Circle, for example. XBTO is there. So, they've been doing it, so they're very experienced in it. And so the process is, very detailed, but it's very swift. So we're very, very happy, with the speed, but it's also like the level of sophistication that we, like the questions that we got back. It shows that this is not like the first time kind of they doing it.
It's not their first rodeo.
Exactly. Which is going to be very interesting. Like when you create regulations and then you create, let's say, creates a new agency and it's going to be the first rodeo. What are they going to do, right? So, we really like Bermuda, because they managed to create like really, really good digital asset infrastructure.
That's great. On the sort of corporate investment side, we know that in one of your latest funding rounds, Steve Cohen, I think, put up $14.5 million. I believe that was last year. What are your plans for 2022? Are you planning to basically have more funding rounds and accept investments into 24Exchange?
Yeah. So currently finalizing the funding route. So. And among those investors, there are some big names, very known names in crypto. And so once, we finalize and publish, you'll see it. But we definitely, and this is still seed route, so we are still in seeding stage. Still in seeding stage, meaning, well, it's an infrastructure play, so you have to build the infrastructure. And from seed to be profitable and to Series A. And so we determined there are certain goals that we have to reach in terms of number of clients that onboarded, profitability, and so forth. So when we can go back to our investors and say, look, this is so many more clients, this is the profitability. Now we want to raise, another amount at a higher valuation. Here is the case. And so that's kind of what we're working on. So we established the goals for us to go back to the investors for Series A money. And once we reach, hopefully we'll reach those goals this year, and that's when we're gonna go out and raise much bigger amount, 50 million, 100 million, something like that.
I like your approach. It's very, very transparent, for existing investors and new investors, as compared to what we see in the financial industry overall, if you know what I mean.
Yes, absolutely.
Dmitri, thanks for taking the time to speak with us today. I know you're very busy. We would definitely love to share the news that of the upcoming things that we discussed, and definitely to tell our industry more about it once that information is approved, whatever, and things like that. So definitely a pleasure to speak with you, and we hope to see you very soon again.
Perfect. Looking forward to be in touch.
Likewise. Спасибо большое.
Пожалуйста, thank you.
Thank you.